ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls of all ages. Are you ready to be amazed?
Tell me, do you wanna go? Carrying on timelines, where the better ways are better than night. Impossible come true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show. We light it up, we won't come down, and the sun can't stop us now. Watching it come true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show.
Bottom of the first inning at NBT Bank Stadium on a Wednesday morning with temperatures in the mid-40s with a strong gust of wind blowing out towards right field. No score as Syracuse comes to bat for the first time today. Rajay Davis set to dig in on the right-hand side as the birthday man, Tony DeFrancesco, takes his place on the third base side in the coach's box as Syracuse's manager and third base coach. Sean Reed Foley on the mound for Buffalo. First pitch from the right-hander is a strike to Davis. Counts 0-1. Rajay Davis, a 38-year-old, hitting .190 this season in 16 games played. 0-1, swinging a pop foul to the right, and the count is quickly 0-2. Sean Reed Foley on the mound for Buffalo, a second-round selection by Toronto in the 2014 draft. He's appeared in 3 games this season for the Bisons, making 2 starts, 10 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 16 earned runs. 0-2. Davis takes high and in for ball 1.
We were talking about that wind. Steve, when you were pitching, did you adjust based on wind?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there was an advantage when the wind was blowing straight out to center field. It made your breaking ball work better. It had more wind resistance and it broke a little bit more. So the advantage of the hitter getting for the wind blowing out, I thought it was a disadvantage. It helped my breaking ball quite a bit.
1-2 missed outside to Davis. Here's the 2-2. It's lined towards left center field. That's down in the gap for a hit and will roll all the way towards the wall. Davis speeding around first, heading for second. He holds there. Ball was cut off in the gap by the left fielder Alford, but it's a leadoff double for Rajay Davis, and Syracuse has the first hit of the game from the leadoff man.
The designated hitter.
The Mets have jumped out to quick starts here in this homestand. 5 games played during the homestand. Syracuse has scored first in 4 of those games. And in fact, the Mets have scored in the first inning in 4 of the 5 games during this homestand. The only game Syracuse didn't score first in was 2 nights ago in the series opener against the Bisons. First pitch to Carlos Gomez popped up foul, first base side out of play for strike 1.
Now, Mike, before the situation changes, I got to throw in my trivia here that Rajay Davis, since 2014, is second in the majors in steals of third, behind Billy Hamilton.
Wow.
I'm glad he got the second so I could get that in.
0-1 on Carlos Gomez with Davis at second base, one of the most prolific stealers in Major League Baseball history. 0-1 slider to Gomez, misses outside, and the count's 1-1.
And we talked about how this team is so loaded with veterans. Here's Gomez, and he's trying to go to the right side. Right there, he tried to bunt him over to third base, and we talked about it, Mike, how DeFrancisco is going for the wins now.
1-1 swing and a miss off speed from Reed Foley, moving the count to 1-2. Tony DeFrancesco said here in the International League with how big this ballpark plays, 390 to left center, 375 to right center, he's going to play a little more small ball this season. And this is a team that's 10-2 at home. Davis at second, 1-2 on Gomez. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3 off speed, diving low and outside against the right-handed hitter. Gomez strikes out, and there's 1 away.
Looked like he swung at a ball that was out of the strike zone right there. Still trying to go to right, but not able to get the job done.
Number 25.
Let me throw it right back at you, Herm. When you played, and you played at Syracuse University, were you pretty aware of which way the wind was blowing as a hitter?
I was barely aware of where the pitcher was throwing the ball.
Here's the Danny Echeverria first pitch. Misses outside for ball 1.
But you played. Did you play with DeFrancisco?
Yes, yeah, we were teammates.
Was it the last years of SU baseball?
We played through 68, then I coached through 72, which were the last 4 years. And it was not my fault that they dropped baseball.
1-0 pop foul back into the right for strike 1. Well, since Syracuse has joined the ACC, so many people have speculated if they add another sport, will baseball be it? It's the only program in the ACC that doesn't have, only school in the ACC that doesn't have a baseball program.
I think Herm should be the manager, and if they do that, Herm should be the manager, and I'll be his pitching coach.
Sounds like a pretty good staff to me. 1-1, swinging a ground ball foul, third base side. DeFrancesco fields and flips the ball into the seats down the left field line. Some kids from Roxborough Middle School there, my alma mater.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Got to see a couple of the kids and teachers over that way. A ball and 2 strikes to Adani Echeverria. The pitch is lifted in the air out towards right center field. Patterson is back in the gap, reaches up, he makes the catch. Davis tags from second base. He's heading for third. It was a late tag from Davis, who ends up making it to third base. Davis went to tag and then mistimed when the ball was about to be caught, came off the bag, had to spin around and go back, touch second base, and he still made it to third. So Echeverria with the fly out to right, Davis up 90 feet to third base, and now Travis Tyrone, Syracuse's power hitter this season, comes to the plate. Tyrone leads the league in home runs with 7 of them this season. He hit 4 during Syracuse's first road trip, and then he's hit 3 so far during this homestand. Tyrone bats from the right-hand side. First pitch from Reed Foley is lifted in the air to straightaway center field. Fields is racing back at the warning trick, leaps at the wall, the ball is off of the wall. Davis scores, Tyrone's into second base, and Syracuse has a run in the bottom of the first inning for the 5th time in 6 games during this homestand. 1-0 Syracuse in front this morning on the Travis Tyrone 2-out RBI double.
Number 3.
That put an exclamation point on the 400-foot mark out there in straightaway center. That ball just kept going and going and going. And Fields looked like he was going to have a beat on it, but it was up against probably the highest point of the fence out there, and he continues to hit the ball well. That was almost his 8th home run right there.
He didn't miss it by much. Here's Tomas Nido, first pitch, misses outside, ball 1. That RBI is the 15th this season for Travis Tyrone. He has been ripping the ball this season for Syracuse. 1 ball and no strikes on Tomas Nido with Tyrone at second base and 2 outs. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss off speed from Reed Foley, moving the count to 1-1. For Tyrone, 15 RBIs moves him into a tie for 4th place in the International League for RBIs this season. He takes a lead off second base. 1-1 count on Tomas Nido. The pitch is waved on and missed for strike 2. Reed Foley's had some success going off speed on those pitches, going away from right-handed batters.
A lot of guys are bailing a little bit. The ball's actually off the plate on those breaking balls that probably an inch or 2 off the plate, but they're swinging and missing at him early here in the first inning.
1-2 on Nido. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. There it is again, just tailing away off speed from right-handed batters. Second strikeout for Sean Reed Foley. It ends the first. Start of the second inning at NBT Bank Stadium. Syracuse with a 1-0 lead over Buffalo. Alongside both Steve Grilly and Herm Cart, I'm Michael Tricarico on a chilly Wednesday morning from Syracuse. Temperatures in the mid-40s. Wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour throughout the day today, which is making things feel much more chilly than it should be here in late April. Kevin Biggio leads off for Buffalo. First pitch from Zach Lee is a strike, knee high in the inside corner, counts 0-1. Kevin Biggio's been maybe the best hitter in this Buffalo lineup this season, hitting .388 for the season. 0-1 is just off the plate outside for ball 1.
And yes, this is Craig Biggio's son. I mean, this Buffalo team is just loaded with former players' sons.
1-1 on the inside corner for strike 2. And Kevin Biggio, son of Craig Biggio, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., son of Vladimir Guerrero, and Bo Bichette and he is on the roster, but he's on the injured list. 1-2, hit the other way, fought off towards left. It's down for a hit, fielded by Tim Tebow in left, who fires the ball in, keeping Biggio to a single, the first hit of the game for the Bisons. Bo Bichette, the son of Dante Bichette, a former major leaguer and all-star. Bo was hit on the hand with a pitch that was also deemed to have hit the bat during an at-bat in the first game of this series 2 days ago. Bichette has a broken hand, so he is on the injured list. So that just an unfortunate injury for a guy who has been raking throughout his minor league career. He's going to certainly miss some good time this season. Andy Burns at the plate. First pitch, a strike from Lee, counts 0-1. 1-0 Syracuse in front of Buffalo after the Mets scored in the bottom of the first inning for the 5th time during this homestand. 0-1 on Burns. Throw goes to first. Biggio back safely with a head-first slide. Syracuse, when they score first over their last 7 times scoring first, they are 7-0. They did it twice during the road trip. Those were the only 2 games Syracuse won on the road when they scored first. And now 5 times this homestand, and they've won the previous 4 at home when scoring first. 0-1, strike on the inside corner. It's 0-2.
So we could pretty much pack it up right now?
Yeah, time to pack it up and let's go. Especially the way the Syracuse pitching staff has been so far this season, leading the league in earned run average. Syracuse has posted 18 consecutive scoreless innings. 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Burns goes down on strikes. First strikeout for Lee, 1 away in the top of the second.
Keeping a close eye on Biggio at first base. He does possess some speed, even though he's a good power hitter. Got 2 stolen bases thus far this year.
And this is a Buffalo team that might try and find some ways to manufacture some runs because of how much they have struggled during this series. They scored 3 runs in the first inning on Monday, did not score the rest of the game, and then were shut out yesterday. And then a scoreless first inning today. So this Syracuse pitching staff has found a way to shut down this Buffalo lineup. Over the last 8 games, Syracuse Mets pitchers have posted a 2.03 earned run average. First pitch to Jordan Patterson, swung on and missed for strike one. During this 5-game winning streak, Syracuse pitchers have allowed just 7 earned runs over 42 innings pitched. And that's really why this team is so good. The batting average, Syracuse ranks last in the league. 0-1 to Patterson, misses in for ball one.
And you look at this lineup, you know they're not going to be staying at the low averages that you do see. This team has some really bona fide, big league hitters.
You wouldn't guess that this team is last in the league in batting average.
No.
And part of it is they just, situational hitting is so good. They get the timely hitting, not always hitting well with runners in scoring position, but doing it enough to get the wins.
I think that feeds into the analytics now that devalue batting average as opposed to on-base percentage, slugging percentage.
Every once in a while, it feels like it's getting a little bit brighter out there, even though we have quite a few clouds up above.
Yeah, maybe some lighter clouds out west. We see 2 trains rolling by. That's a rare occurrence. It's not rare to see trains rolling by, but we have one rolling very slowly eastbound and one rolling much faster westbound. Some cargo trains. 1-1 to Jordan Patterson, misses outside. That moves the count to 2-1 on Patterson, a left-handed batter. Jordan Patterson hitting 163 for this season, 7 hits and 43 at-bats during 12 games played with the Bisons here in 2019. 1 out, top of the second inning. 2-1 on Patterson. The pitch is popped up third base side. David Thompson drifts to foul territory, now moves back towards fair ground. He makes the catch, and there's 2 away.
I saw a little snow cone on the top of that mitt right there. And to be honest with you, when you look over at Lee, he wanted to take it initially, but they're always yelling for the pitcher to get out of the way. That used to frustrate me, guys. I was a pretty good athlete, and to have somebody else have to take an easy pop-up or something like that, I was like, come on.
And often it's more difficult for that player to make it than a ball that's popped up right to you.
First pitch to Patrick Cantwell, misses inside for ball one. Yeah, you got the pitcher standing right there, and then all of a sudden, out of the corner of your eye, you see a guy just sprinting out of nowhere to make it like an on-the-run grab on his hip.
And then he's got to deal with the mound. There's a little bit of a hump there that they got to. I've seen guys trip as they ran across the mound.
1-0. A strike knee-high inside corner to Cantwell. Counts 1-1. Did you ever call anyone off as a pitcher? Or was that just not allowed? You can't just, I got it, someone's calling, I got you.
No,
get out of my way.
No, you don't do that. Otherwise you get reamed out later on by that fielder.
1 ball and 1 strike on Patrick Cantwell. 2 outs, top of the second inning. Here's the pitch. Swinging a line drive off of Herrera's mitt, trickling towards the outfield. Biggio up to second. Cantwell safe at first with a hit. Herrera gave a great effort on a backhanded dive behind the second base bag, and the ball just clipped the edge of his mitt.
Diaz.
So, runners on first and second for the Bisons, and Andrew Giat at the plate. Giat, a 26-year-old, bats from the right-hand side against the righty Lee. 1-0 Syracuse in front of Buffalo. We're in the top of the second inning.
Steve, you're right about pitchers fielding. I hit quite a few balls in that area, and pitchers are athletes. They handle the ball pretty well.
Well, you've been all part of the spring training. That's all you do. What do we do with pitchers? Well, let's hit them back, comebackers to the mound, practice that, and covering first base.
I was good at that. I was good at that drill.
First pitch to Andrew Giat, misses outside, counts 1-0. Syracuse had some pitchers fielding practice yesterday. Part of an early afternoon workout before yesterday evening's game. Pitch here, grounded toward short, fielded by Echeverria. He flips to second. Is it in time? Yes, it is, just in time. It was a close play. Cantwell was really hustling towards second, but Syracuse gets the out. Giat grounds into a fielder's choice, 6-4, and that ends the top of the second inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base for the Bisons. We go to the bottom of the second inning next. 1-0 Syracuse in front on the score, 12-16. Bottom of the second inning at NBT Bank Stadium, Syracuse 1, Buffalo 0. With Herm Card and Steve Grilly, Michael Tricarico with you on a Wednesday morning, a chilly Wednesday in Syracuse. Syracuse out to an early 1-0 lead thanks to a Travis Tyrone RBI double in the first. Dilson Herrera leads off for Syracuse. First pitch from Sean Reed Foley is a strike, counts 0-1.
This is unsolicited. The crew that does the video board are geniuses. Now, if you notice today, they're doing it just like you did in school. First name, last initial.
0-1 misses high to Dilson Herrera. The count is 1-1. Here comes the pitch to Sean Reed Foley to Herrera, and it swung on and missed for strike 2. It is an education day here in Syracuse. It's also Tony DeFrancesco's birthday. Tony, it works twofold because Tony really goes by Tony D. 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Herrera also loses his bat down the third base line towards the Syracuse dugout. He strikes out. It's the third strikeout for Sean Reed Foley, and there's one away here in the bottom of the second. So I think also in honor of Tony DeFrancesco's birthday, a lot of times we refer to him as Tony D, so we're just going all of the players, first name and then first letter of the last name. So Reimer L.
And that bat almost went into the dugout. Fortunately hit the top railing and didn't injure somebody.
Here's the first pitch to Liriano, misses outside, counts 1-0. Liriano hitting 161 for this season, 27-year-old, batting from the right-hand side. 1-0 pitch is waved on and missed for strike 1. And Steve, I mean, from a pitcher's perspective, Reed Foley is hitting a lot. He's pitching off speed, throwing that junk low and away.
Low and away, it's consistent, and I'm surprised because he's on 7 days rest. And a lot of times when you have that long in between starts, you find yourself a little rusty. He seems to be sharp.
1-1's on the inside corner, counts 1-2. Well, I mean, to be fair, and this is not necessarily to knock Sean Reed Foley, but he can't be any worse than he really has been during his first couple of starts. 16 earned runs allowed in 10 1/3 innings. 1-2 misses away to Liriano, moving the count to 2-2.
Going to take a couple of innings to get that down here. He's got to have some shutout, put some zeros on the board to get that down.
2-2. Outside, ball 3, a 93-mile-an-hour fastball from Sean Reed Foley. And the count works full at 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out in the bottom of the second inning.
Steve, how much attention do pitchers pay to their own ERA?
3-2 pitch is outside, ball 4. Liriano works a walk. That's Syracuse's first walk of the game, and it's sponsored by Operation Walk New York.
You bring up a good point, Herm. I kept in my briefcase when I was on the road pitching my ERA and what it would be if I threw 7 shutout innings the next day. I was very goal-oriented, so if I got out there and I knew I had a 4.2 ERA, and if I pitched 7 innings of shutout ball, got it down below 4, that prompted me to have a goal to keep. And so I for one, was one I was very aware of my ERA. As a matter of fact.
So was your agent.
First pitch to David Thompson. Misses outside. Counts 0-1. 0-1 is outside corner. Strike 2.
A typical competitor that I am, my ERA total in the major leagues for 70 games was like 4.66. If you took away 3 games out of the 70 appearances that I had like a 3.6 ERA, which was a little more respectable.
0-2 misses high to Thompson, moving the count to 1-2.
And I'm sure you've seen this. There's sometimes a pitcher's out there and the coach just says, you're out there for the duration. And I had that happen in Texas, and I wound up giving up like 9 runs in my innings of work just to close out try to get me to the 7th or 8th inning. I came in like the 2nd or 3rd inning, and Ralph Houck says, you got to take me at least to the 7th or 8th. Well, I got to the 5th, because I got thrown out of a game because I drilled somebody. He didn't like that.
1-2 to Thompson outside for ball 2.
So when you're asked, you quote your ERA as it was 4.3, but.
But you got that right. But
2-2 on Thompson. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. So 4th strikeout for Sean Reed Foley, and there's 2 away with Tim Tebow coming to the plate.
I think this would be a pretty good time for his first home run over here. Got a pretty good wind blowing out to right field.
First pitch to Tebow, misses low and in. A 94-mile-an-hour fastball, counts 1-0. First left-handed batter that Reed Foley is facing today, the only left-handed batter in the Syracuse lineup. Another throw goes to first. Reimer Liriano back safely with a head first slide.
Well, on the bench you got, what do we have? Blanco is left-handed. You got Espinosa, who's a switch hitter. And Rivera, the only right-hander on the bench.
1-0, misses low for ball 2. Luis Guillorme was the only other left-handed batter that had spent time here in Syracuse. He was optioned from New York, played a couple of games here, and then was recalled by the Mets just a couple of days ago.
Frazier wasn't here very long, was he?
He was only here for the 3-game series against Pawtucket. First game was postponed. He played in one game of the doubleheader Saturday and then played on Sunday. He hit a grand slam yesterday for the New York Mets. His second grand slam as a New York Met.
I see Syracuse got him ready.
2-0 pitch is inside for ball 3. I guess after the game he said it was a 3-1 pitch, and he said he was just trying to hit the ball as far as he could foul. Because he didn't care if it went foul or not. He just wanted to hit it as far as he could. 3-0 to Tebow, misses outside, ball 4. He works a walk, so runners on first and second for the Mets as the top of the order comes to the plate with Rajay Davis. Whatever he tried to do, and it's Todd Frazier, whatever he tried to do during that at-bat, I guess he should just keep replicating. And yesterday was also the 20th anniversary of Fernando Tatis hitting 2 grand slams in one inning.
Right.
One inning. He did it with the Cardinals against the Los Angeles Dodgers. First pitch to Rajay Davis, misses outside for ball 1. We've talked about a couple of players on Buffalo who have dads who played in the major leagues. Fernando Tatis has a son, Fernando Tatis Jr. He's the second-ranked prospect in all of baseball. 1-0 to Davis is clipped foul back and to the right. Counts 1-1. Tatis actually started the season in the major leagues with the San Diego Padres. Got a chance to see him in Fort Wayne when he was with the Fort Wayne Tin Caps, the Padres' low A affiliate a couple years ago. It's amazing how some of these guys, Tatis and Guerrero and Bo Bichette, how they have just moved through these minor league systems so quickly. They're only 20, 21 years old. 1-1 to Davis, misses high, counts 2-1. Runners on first and second for Syracuse, 2 outs. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Two-two pitch, swinging a ground ball, third base side, just foul. Rolling towards the vacant Syracuse bullpen down the left field line, where Anthony Alford, the Buffalo left fielder, picks the ball up and tosses it to a lone fan in the front row of seats, way down the line.
So the video board is also doing a Tony DeFrancesco retro photo show.
Yeah, all old photos of Tony DeFrancesco right now. A photo of him when he was with the Houston Astros. 2-2. Swinging a fly ball, hitting the air to right field. Jordan Patterson drifts towards right center and makes a one-handed grab to end the inning. So Syracuse strands 2 runners on here in the second inning. We head to the third next. 1-0 Syracuse in front of Buffalo on the score, 12-16. Thank you so much for that studio update on this Wednesday morning, a chilly Wednesday here in Syracuse, but packed seats here at NBT Bank Stadium with school kids of all ages for Education Day #1 here at the ballpark. 1-0 Syracuse in front of Buffalo as we begin the third inning. Roman Fields, the number 9 hitter in the Buffalo lineup, leads off as Zach Lee works from the full windup on the mound for Syracuse. Righty on lefty matchup, and the first pitch from Lee. Fastball, line foul, third base side out of play for strike one.
Here's one for you, talking about 2 Grand Slam home runs in 1 inning. And there's a number of pitchers that have given up 4 home runs in 1 inning. My son being one of them.
0-1 to Fields is outside for ball 1.
It's near the top of one of the worst days of my life. I was listening to it on the radio. But after the game was over, he says he was ready to go out and jump off a bridge. He said he
1-1 hit foul to the on-deck circle for strike 2.
But when that happened, I was on my way to a wedding. I didn't even want to go, but I spent an awful lot of time over at the bar that night just trying to erase what had happened. But I looked up. Give this pitch here.
Here's the 1-2, swing and a clip foul.
I looked up on, Baseball Almanac pitchers that have done that. And listen to the list of guys. I mean, I just point, there's a lot of guys that have done that. But look who else has done it. Catfish Hunter, Pat Mahomes, who of course we know his son is an NFL star now. Randy Johnson, Justin Verlander, Tanaka of the Yankees, of course my son, John Smoltz, and Zach Greinke. So he's
I mean, that's actually good. That's a good company to be with. 1-2 to Fields. Is on the outside corner, strike 3. Second strikeout for Lee, 1 away here in the third.
And at the end of that, I called him up and I said, Jace, had you given up 1 more, you would have held the record all by yourself.
Next thing you heard was the phone slam down, right?
No, he didn't take too kindly. He was still reeling from that performance. So
here comes the first pitch to Anthony Alford. It's taken inside for ball 1.
So that allowed me to claim to have umpired a record holder.
Yes, that's
See?
right.
So-
That's right. Herm was an umpire when Jason was in high school.
I probably called enough strikes to make his career possible.
1-0's on the inside corner for strike 1.
He was an umpire's friend. He threw strikes. He threw the ball in the same place every time. It made it easy to work the ball game.
Well, that's a nice compliment. I think it helped him get to where he got to.
1-1 on the outside corner, strike 2 off speed from Lee at 85 miles an hour.
You and I kind of kid around sometimes because I was his pitching coach, and I'd be on that. And I try to work the umpires, not in a bad way. I always say, come on, Herm, you're better than that.
1-2 is tipped foul into the dirt. So the count holds at 1-2 on Anthony Alford with 1 out in the top of the third. Syracuse in front 1-0. Look,
But I wasn't better than that because I was very good.
You were very good. You were one of the best.
Coaches across all sports, you have to work the officials, the umpires, the referees, whatever it may be. 1-2 to Alford is high for ball 2.
First time I met Steve he was helping out at Lemoyne. Something occurred. Steve said to me, "Hey, that was interference." I said, "No, it wasn't," and that was our introduction. And guess who won the argument?
Who always wins the argument.
2-2 line foul into the upper deck in the right field side.
I was the first pitching coach ever at Lemoyne College under Dick Rockwell. And boy, you talk about making me look good. I had both Tom Browning and Jimmy DeShays, who both went on to have really good careers in the big leagues. Jimmy does what we're doing right now with the Chicago Cubs.
Here's the 2-2. Alford takes inside for ball 3.
He pitched the quickest college game I ever umpired behind the plate. It was a 7-inning game, hour and 6 minutes.
Was that DeShays?
He pitched. He faced 27 or 21 batters.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's the second strikeout for Lee this inning.
He won the game 1-0 against Oswego State. 21 batters, 1 hit, double play erased it, faced 21, and 1-0 ball game. Both pitchers threw strikes. It was delightful.
Pitchers, or an umpire's delight right there. DeShays still tied. He has a record. He's a starting pitcher.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr. lines this pitch into right field, down for a hit. A 2-out single for the 25-year-old. So a 2-out base runner for Buffalo with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. now coming to the plate.
He struck out as a starting pitcher the first 7 batters he faced. And I think that I'm pretty sure that tied a record.
Syracuse actually had a game earlier this year where the Mets struck out their first 7 batters were struck out at the plate. Yeah, Lewis Thorpe, Rochester starter, Wednesday, a week ago. Did it on the road. First pitch to Guerrero, hit in the air towards right. Liriano charging in, makes the catch. And that ends the top of the 3rd inning. Syracuse leads 1-0 as we move to the bottom of the 3rd next on the score, 12-16. Bottom of the 3rd inning from Syracuse. The Mets lead the Bisons 1-0. 3rd game of a 4-game series between the AAA New York Mets and the AAA Toronto Blue Jays. Syracuse has won the first 2 games of this series and is currently on a 5-game winning streak, undefeated during this week-long homestand thus far. Carlos Gomez leads off for Syracuse. Sean Reed Foley on the mound. First pitch is a strike on the inside corner. Counts 0-1. Alongside Steve Gurley and Herm Card on Michael Tricarico. Carlos Gomez struck out swinging in his first at-bat. He rips this pitch down the left field line, but hooking foul into the seats for strike 2.
Somebody in the stand tried to make a ESPN highlight film on that leaping catch, but he dropped it.
Well, he was obstructed by the first row of seats. That's what we'll blame it on. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Good effort, though.
Here comes the 0-2. Gomez swings and lifts it in the air towards shallow left center. Alford comes in from left. Long run, still on the run, makes the catch. And ends up behind second base. 1 away, and here's Adeni Echeverria.
Number 25, Echeverria.
Echeverria has been as good as anyone in this Syracuse lineup. Certainly the most consistent. He's hitting .333 in 17 games, and this is not a small sample size. 20 hits and 60 at-bats. Flied out to right field in his first at-bat today. First pitch to the right-handed hitter is a strike on the outside corner. Counts 0-1.
And he's got an opt-out coming up in what? Is it May or June?
Soon here. Don't know the exact details. Yeah. 0-1 is outside to Echeverria, and the count's now 1-1. I mean, he's a guy that can be playing in the major leagues right now. Just needs to find a team that has the right spot. Maybe he decides to stay with the Mets. Who knows? 1-1 is grounded slowly off the mound towards short. Fielded by Andrew Guillat. Throw it to first in time, and there's 2 away.
But for those of you who don't know what an opt-out is he's got in his contract that if he has not been called up by the Mets by a certain date, he becomes a free agent and he can sign with whatever team wants him. And with the numbers he's putting up here, something's going to happen. He's either going to be picked up by somebody, or the Mets are going to try to keep him in the loop for their system.
He's one of a lot of guys with plenty of major league experience. First pitch to Travis Tyrone hits the outside corner, strike 1. Echeverria was the main shortstop for the Miami Marlins from 2012 to 2017. 0-1. Breaking ball is a strike, counts 0-2. And then last season, Echeverria was with a couple of different teams, including the New York Yankees at the end of the year once Didi Gregorius got hurt. 0-2 hit foul back into the right by Tyrone. So the count holds at no balls and 2 strikes, and Tyrone, a 30-year-old right-handed hitter.
Boy, he keeps his hands back very nice, Tyrone does.
0-2 outside for ball 1, a 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Sean Reed Foley.
And when he keeps his hands back like that, he doesn't get fooled a lot by the breaking pitch.
1-2 misses in, moving the count to 2-2 on Travis Tyrone. Tyrone had an RBI double, hit it off the wall in straightaway center field in the first inning, scoring the lone run of the game. 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, and the inning is over. 1-2-3 inning for Sean Reed Foley, his first 1-2-3 inning of the afternoon. We head to the 4th inning next. 1-0 Syracuse in front of Buffalo on the score, 12-60. Start of the 4th inning at NBT Bank Stadium. 1-0 Syracuse leads over Buffalo on this Wednesday morning, an education day with more than a few thousand school kids playing hooky. not really. This is all part of the school. They took the school bus on a field trip here to NBT Bank Stadium. And Syracuse leads 1-0 over Buffalo. Kevin Biggio leads off for the Bisons. Zach Lee is on the mound for Syracuse. Righty on lefty matchup. First pitch, breaking ball ripped into right field. That's down for Biggio's second hit today. Reimer Liriano fields the ball and tosses it in, holding Biggio to his single, his second hit today.
Right, just like his father, pure hitter. Breaking ball, off speed, takes him to right. Had a pitch that was away from, well, no, that pitch that he hit to right field was inside corner, but he inside outed it to left field. So he hits to all fields. He's a dangerous hitter. That's why he's hit, I think, 4th in the lineup, right?
Yep, he's the cleanup hitter. Andy Burns at the plate. Zach Lee comes set. Here comes the first pitch. Popped up, left side of the infield. It's in foul ground. Tomas Nito, the catcher, ends up making the catch in foul territory, and there's one away. Now back to Biggio real quick. I mean, we've talked about it, and Steve, this is the first time you've been in the booth this series, but you got Bo Bichette, you got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. They're number 1 and 2 in terms of prospects in this Blue Jays system. Biggio's ranked 9th by a couple different ranking systems, but some people say, I mean, you talk to some scouts and they say, maybe he's not on Guerrero's level, but and this isn't a knock on Biggio. It's to say how good, or it's not a knock on Bichette. It's to say how good Biggio is. That Biggio has risen to that level. First pitch to Jordan Patterson is a ball. Counts 1-0.
And he went to Notre Dame.
Yep, he went to Notre Dame. Yeah, he played on the Cape League 2015. That was the year I was out there. Got to chat with him very briefly.
And his dad went to Seton Hall. He's an alumnus of Seton Hall, along with my son Jason. Great baseball school back then.
1-0, foul to the backstop, moving the count to 1-1.
Mo Vaughn, Matt Morris, my son, Rick Cerrone, Biggio.
You know who else went to Seton Hall?
Who's that?
Tony DeFrancesco.
That's right,
Syracuse
yes.
Mets
Yeah,
manager.
we talked about that too.
Yeah.
He's got some good stories about the late Mike Shepard, the original Shepard that coaches at Seton Hall. His son took over, Robbie. Good baseball school. I think the best in the Northeast, though, is St. John's.
St. John's does have a really good program.
And the former assistant coach at Seton Hall is now the head coach at St. John's.
Did not know that. Here comes the 1-1. It's inside to Patterson, moving the count to 2-1. We're in the top of the 4th inning. 2-1 count on Patterson. Syracuse in front 1-0 over Buffalo.
Matter of fact, when the Mets were A-ball, Coney Island was getting ready, they redid the St. John's baseball field, and the Mets A-ball club, short season A-ball club, was playing there at St. John's.
Pitch is hit in the air down the left field line, foul by Patterson. Count moves to 2-2.
Matter of fact, Tony DeFrancesco told me that Eddie Blankmeyer, the manager, the head coach over at St. John's, was offered a job by the Mets. I mean, he is that well looked upon by the people in baseball.
2-2 on Patterson, a left-handed batter. Here's the pitch. Outside corner, strike 3. Got him at 88 miles an hour, just hitting the outer edge. Patterson takes exception to that. Some parting words for Rich Grassa, the home plate umpire, and there's 2 away. It's the 4th strikeout for Lee today. Now here's Patrick Cantwell coming to the plate. He singled back in the 2nd inning, one of 4 hits for the Bisons today.
Well, you saw a little discussion there. Calls for, what prompts him from not getting thrown out, Herm, as a former umpire?
First pitch to Cantwell's on the inside corner, strike 1.
What's some of the magic words that you say that get you thrown out?
I can't say them. They'd get me thrown out of the booth.
And it'd get me a call from the FCC.
Okay.
But it's a good point. That, really umpires are not trying to eject people. They're trying to keep people in the game. They understand the need sometimes to say something.
0-1, outside corner, strike 2.
And I think the level of tolerance is based on what's said and how it's said. I ejected a player one time yelling at me in Spanish, and the coach said, "What did he say?" I said, "I don't know," but it's the way he did it.
Tone of voice.
It was the way he was doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Here comes the 0-2. Cantwell fouls it to the backstop. Count holds it. No balls and 2 strikes.
That's a great story. I don't know. What did he say to you? I don't know.
It's how he said it. I mean, jumping up and down, waving your arms is not. He's not saying that was a real close call.
Tone matters. Context matters. Here comes the 0-2. Cantwell takes outside for ball 1.
In my whole baseball career as a pro, I got thrown out of one game, and I was the coach at first base in Richmond, Virginia. I just told this story to my family driving back from Hilton Head. I said, "See that stadium over there?" I said, "That's the only stadium or only game I ever got thrown out, and I'll tell you why in a sec."
Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a ground ball hit through the left side into left field for a hit. Biggio up to second. Cantwell safe at first with 2 outs, and Andrew Guillat now coming to the plate.
It was 100 and something degrees out. It was one of the hottest days of the summer. And I was coaching first base, and the first baseman's foot dragged off the bag a little bit, maybe by a couple inches, and the umpire still called him out, and I didn't say it so nicely about him missing the call, so he threw me out. And this was like in the second inning of a 9-inning game, and it was a day game. The rest of the game, I was sitting over in the first base side, behind the coach's box over at first base, having a nice cold beer.
Pitch here is hit in the air down the right field line. Liriano drifts over, and this ball ends up foul for strike 1.
Best $75 beer I ever had. I got $75 fine.
I didn't eject a lot. I mean, like I say, the goal is that I was probably more likely to try to keep somebody in a game than not. Once you eject somebody, it doesn't mean the game's going to get better. It might get quieter, but it's not necessarily going to get better.
Pitch here grounded sharply to short, fielded by Echeverria. Throw to second the short way for the out. Fielder's choice, 6-4. That's the second time Guillat has grounded into a fielder's choice to short. That has ended the frame. Go to the bottom of the 4th next. Syracuse leads Buffalo 1-0 on the score, 12:60. Bottom of the 4th inning at NBT Bank Stadium. Syracuse 1, Buffalo 0. We begin the bottom of the 4th inning. Sean Reed-Foley is still on the mound for the Bisons, and Tomas Nido leads off for Syracuse with Steve Gurley and Herm Card on Michael Tricarico. And guys, once again, it's pitching. It's been the key to this game for both sides. First pitch to Nido misses outside for ball 1. Syracuse now has thrown 21 consecutive scoreless innings. In terms of a pitching staff over the last 3 days, 1-0 to Nido is swung on and hit in the air foul first base side, counts 1-1.
And we have 1 run on the board after 3 innings with only 2 hits. So the hits are counting.
Both hits coming in the first. Leadoff double Rajay Davis, RBI double Travis Tyrone. 1-0 Syracuse in front. 1-1 is fouled to the backstop by Nido. The count's 1-2.
All right, Steve, both pitchers throwing the ball away today. Cold day. Wouldn't you be sort of tempted to throw it inside, hit him on?
Yeah, plus, like we've talked about the wind blowing out to right field. It's kind of dangerous, but hey.
1-2, popped up foul. First base side out of play, holding the count to the ball in 2 strikes.
After 3.5 innings, nobody's been really hurt by the long ball to right field. But yeah, on a cold day, you do like to throw inside and get those hands feeling a little numb after they swing. This is fun, guys. I like this 3-man booth.
1-2, swing and a tip into Cantwell's mitt. Well, Nido thought the ball might have hit the dirt first, but Cantwell came up and held the ball in the air, so that's a strikeout. And there's 1 away here in the 4th. That's our first 3-man booth of the season here. This is fun. Steve Gurley is to my right, even though if you're listening on the radio, you cannot see that. But he's on my right. Just imagine it, right? It's radio, pictures. First pitch to Dilson Herrera is a strike, counts 0-1. And then Herm is on my left. Herm is currently writing with a marker on our windows to point that out, pretending it's a telestrator.
The radio telestrator.
Yeah. Best invention ever. 0-1 pop foul, first base side. It's 0-2. We're having fun on a Wednesday morning here in Syracuse. Herrera grounds this pitch to third, fielded by Andy Burns. Throw to first in time, and there's 2 away. How about Sean Reed Foley finding a bit of a rhythm? He gave up those 2 doubles in the first inning. Since then, he has not allowed a hit. He's walked just 2 batters, and he's retired 6 in a row and 9 of the last 11.
He's working that outside corner very, very well. That breaking pitch has been his plus pitch today, keeping him in this game.
First pitch to Reimer Liriano, swung on and missed strike 1.
A lot of his strikeouts have come on that breaking ball on the outside corner.
Here comes the 0-1. Liriano takes a fastball this time on the outside corner, strike 2. He's facing 8 right-handed batters in this lineup, and he's really, like you said, Steve, is working them away. 0-2. Outside, off speed, 83 miles an hour, moving the count to 1-2.
Well, his pattern has been set up pretty obviously right here. To me, if I'm a right-handed hitter, I'm protecting that outside corner and just trying to punch it to right.
1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Sean Reed Foley. 6 strikeouts today for the 23-year-old. We go to the 5th inning next. Here at NBT Bank Stadium, Syracuse leads Buffalo 1-0. The Bisons have 5 hits, but nothing to show for it. Buffalo has stranded all 5 runners on base. Zach Lee on the mound for Syracuse has worked 4 scoreless innings. And Syracuse now, over the last 3 games, has combined as a pitching staff to post 21 consecutive scoreless innings. First pitch to Roman Fields is popped up, third base side foul, ground and out of play. So the count's 0-1 on the 28-year-old. Lee has gotten better as the season has gone on. He allowed 10 hits and 5 runs in 2 2/3 innings his first start this season. 0-1, lined foul, left field side out of play, counts 0-2. Then he allowed 4 hits and just 1 earned run, but had 4 walks in his second start in 4 2/3 innings. Then his previous start, 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. 0-2 pitch misses the zone. The count's 1-2.
What was interesting, I was just looking at, we were talking about the hitting. Buffalo's only had 63 runs scored this year. And we've
1-2 lined foul, left field side.
even though we're on the bottom of the hitting in the league, we've scored more runs than them. So they've got 63 runs scored, and that's the lowest in the whole league.
It's actually something that Glenn Abbott, Syracuse's pitching coach, pointed out to me yesterday when we were talking after the game about Buffalo's struggles. And even though Buffalo ranks in the top half of the league in batting average, they struggle to score runs. Here comes the 1-2 to Roman Fields. Pitch is chopped back up the middle past Lee and into center field for a hit. So a leadoff single for Roman Fields, which brings Buffalo back to the top of the order with Anthony Alford.
Lee upset with himself, actually put the glove over his mouth. He was talking to him, so I think he thought he should have been able to stab that. Wasn't very hard hit. Did make a stab at it, but unable to come up with it.
And here's another plus for Education Day if you look behind us.
We have
educated people.
students from Roxborough Middle School. That's my school. That's where I went.
And look how he got. See, it worked out for him.
We went to Syracuse University. He's at the School of Newhouse, and look where he is. Wait, they're all
not. You're talking to them as if they can. People over the air can hear them. Hi, guys. I can sort of hear them in the background. Runner at first. Alford bunts down the third base line. Thompson barehand. Sidearm throw to first in time for the out. That was a good play by David Thompson. Sacrifice bunt from Alford, moving Fields in scoring position to second base. And there's one away for Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
Big league play right there at third base. As a matter of fact, you kids are probably looking out here and seeing some former major leaguers and fellas that played. But I'm going to tell you this. Remember this name over here from Roxborough High. You're going to hear him on the radio in the big league someday. Maybe TV also. You're smiling, but I've picked him all through the years, right?
Absolutely.
I've been here over 25 years doing this, and a lot of guys went to the big leagues. You're going to be one of them. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Steve, your check's in the mail.
No, I'm serious. You are good.
I appreciate that.
Herm
Thank
and I
you.
were talking about it before the game, too, about your voice, your timing, your work ethic. It's enjoyable to work with you.
Thanks, guys. It's the kindest thing anyone said to me today.
It's early.
First
It's early. We've got more time.
First pitch to Gurriel misses in, counts 1-0. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. 1 for 2 today, flat out to right, then he singled. Buffalo's looking for its first run since the first inning of Monday's game. 1-0. Swinging a ground ball up the middle past the dive of Herrera into center field. Fields around third base. He scores. It's an RBI single for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. And Buffalo has tied the game at 1 here in the top of the 5th. A couple good pieces of hitting going right back up the middle, guys.
Designated hitter, number 27.
Well, the run that scored was hit up the middle, and right there was hit up the middle, so they're doing it right. The sacrifice bunt, playing a little small ball.
And you have to when you're struggling to hit the ball, right?
Absolutely. I'm surprised you're not seeing more hit and runs.
And here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. First pitch is lifted foul, first base side, out of play. Counts 0-1. 1 out, top of the 5th. We're tied at 1. Game 3 of a 4-game series between Syracuse and Buffalo as Lee works from the stretch.
And also Herm's working. I feel like I'm playing that game. What's that game with the?
We'll talk about it after this. 0-1 is lifted in the air right field in front of Liriano. It's a hit for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. that put runners on first and second. Now for Kevin Biggio playing charades. Or Pictionary, I don't know.
Pictionary. I still don't know what he drew up there.
You don't know what it's a baseball
No,
diamond.
I know, but why is
He
Because
hit the
they're
ball
up the middle. Up the middle.
Oh, okay.
Ball's being hit up the middle.
I was backing up your call.
Oh, okay.
It's our radio telestrator that nobody at home can see.
1,000 words are worth a picture, Steve.
Isn't it a picture's worth 1,000 words?
No, it goes both ways.
It goes both ways. Kevin Biggio swings and drives this pitch deep to right center field. No doubt about it. That is a home run. 3-run shot for Kevin Biggio, his 3rd hit of the game. And this 3-run home run now gives Buffalo a 4-1 advantage here in the top of the 5th.
You know, I've heard an awful lot about him, and, you know, seeing him here today in 3 at-bats, it's like, here's a chance for you guys to see somebody that's going up to the big leagues very shortly. That guy hit a home run. His dad played in the big leagues.
Hall of Famer.
Number 9, Andy.
Part of the killer bees that Herm we were talking about.
And he was a catcher that was converted into a second baseman, his dad. You don't see that very often.
Paul Sewald is up warming in the Syracuse bullpen down the left field line. Syracuse just used its first mound visit of the game with Nito going out to talk to Lee. That mound visit brought to you by Geddes Federal Savings and Loan Association. Andy Burns at the plate for the Bisons. First pitch from Lee, and this at-bat is a strike inside corner. Counts 0-1.
Well, how the game changes so quickly. One swing of the bat. A 3-run homer right there. Put some distance between the Mets.
0-1, lifted in the air towards right. Reimer Liriano started back. Now he comes in, drifting towards the line, and he makes the catch for out number 2.
The right fielder, number 15, Jordan.
I don't think you could blame that home run on the wind. That was
No.
hit. That was going out.
You knew it right from the moment he made contact with it.
What's that sound like when you've thrown the pitch? Is that just a terrible sound or what?
Terrible sound. You know, it's one of those things when you let go of the pitch, you know you've made a mistake. I've given up a few of those.
You don't even have to look at where the ball's landing, right?
No.
You know.
I didn't mean that you were talking from experience.
Wait. Andre Thornton, I think the thing is up there with the satellites right now. He hit one off me in Cleveland.
First pitch to Jordan Patterson was fouled to the backstop. 0-1 pitch misses inside. It's 1-1. 2 outs, top of the 5th inning. 4-1. Buffalo leads over Syracuse. Here comes the 1-1 from Lee. Swing and a miss. Off speed, diving low in the zone for strike 2.
Now you youngsters have heard this gentleman down in the end talk about former major leaguers. Steve Grilly is a former major leaguer, so you got one right here. And his son, Jason, right there in that picture, also an outstanding major leaguer.
1-2 ripped on the ground through the right side into right field. Another hit for Buffalo. That's the 5th hit this inning for the Bisons.
Well, after going 4 innings and having no problems, this 5th has been a terrible problem right here.
I mean, what's changed? Have you noticed anything from Lee?
No,
He's missing his spot?
I really haven't. I mean, his velocity was still there. Probably his location might have been a little bit off. It's a game of inches.
A game of inches where one batter can make all the difference.
Okay, see, now I've got to take issue with Mr. Pitcher. It's always the pitcher's mistake. Nobody ever says these guys are suddenly really good hitters. There has to be a mistake to allow them to be good hitters. Now, I wasn't a good hitter, but I would have objected to that.
Well, so then on the other side, what adjustments have Buffalo made? It's the 3rd time through the orders, so obviously they've seen him a little bit.
Well, if you look at the hits, the ones up the middle were ground balls. If they were directed at somebody, it would have been different. The only one that really squared it up, and to say that he really got all of it, was Biggio's home run. So it's a game of inches, and there's no steering wheel on that baseball. It finds its holes every now and then.
It's a cruel game sometimes. You do the right thing, and you don't get the right results.
So Syracuse has made a pitching change. Lee out of the game, and Paul Sewald is in. Sewald recently optioned down from the New York Mets. He's one of more than a couple of guys that just this season have pitched in the major leagues. So Sewald comes in relief of Zach Lee with a runner at first base and 2 outs. Lee so far this season, or Sewald rather, this season for Syracuse has made 4 relief appearances. He has not allowed a run in 5 1/3 innings. 7 hits, no runs, just 1 walk and 2 strikeouts for Sewald. And we've already seen this year multiple Syracuse pitchers. We started with 8 members of the pitching staff on New York's 40-man roster. And we've had guys like Paul Sewald go up. We've seen Chris Flexen, Drew Gagnon, who started yesterday for Syracuse, go up. So these are guys that are getting that major league experience, and we're able to see them here in AAA. Patrick Cantwell comes to the plate with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. The pitch is a strike off speed inside corner, counts 0-1.
Talk about the Mets pitchers. I just heard on MLB radio the other day, they were talking about Matt Harvey, and he continues to struggle. He's with the Cincinnati Reds now.
0-1 to Cantwell, foul to the backstop, counts 0-2. One thing that current Mets pitchers don't struggle with is hitting the ball. 3 of their starting pitchers have homered this year, including Zach Wheeler, who did it yesterday. Pitchers who rake. Right, that's what they say nowadays. Here comes the 0-2. Cantwell swings and grounds his foul, third base side.
And would it sound like a typical pitcher? It's like, I think the ball's a little bit juiced this year. Again, the pitchers are hitting home runs on a regular basis.
Only because they're good hitters.
Yeah, why can't they just be good hitters? Come on, Steve. I take it you weren't the best of hitters?
No, I was a good hitter.
You were a good hitter. All right, well.
Yeah, I was a good hitter. Never got to bat in the major leagues because the designated hitter came along. But in the minors, one year I hit .340 in A ball as a pitcher.
0-2. Cantwell swings and grounds it slowly toward short, fielded by Echeverria, and he flips to second for the out. That ends the top of the 5th, but not before Buffalo ends up scoring 4 runs in the inning on 5 hits, including a 3-run home run from Kevin Biggio. That has Buffalo up 4-1 over Syracuse as we move to the bottom of the 5th on the score, 12-60. Bottom of the 5th inning at NBT Bank Stadium, and Syracuse has to play from behind, trailing 4-1 against Buffalo. David Thompson leads off for Syracuse. Sean Reed Foley on the mound for the Bisons. First pitch is lifted in the air towards right field, down the line. Jordan Patterson trips to the line, reaches up, and he makes the catch for out number 1. So there's one away, and here's Tim Tebow. Tebow, a 31-year-old, walked in his first at-bat today. Tebow was the last batter to reach base against Sean Reed Foley. He's retired 8 in a row since that point. Here comes the first pitch to Tebow, off speed, misses outside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Tebow takes inside. It goes all the way to the backstop, moving the count to 2 balls and no strikes. That ball bounced off of the backstop and went all the way down the first base line, where Sean Reed Foley picks the ball up and tosses the ball into the Buffalo dugout down the first base line. Tebow with 8 hits and 48 at-bats this season, a 167 average. He does hit the ball hard, though. 2-0 pitch. Swinging a fly ball, hit in the air, foul, left field side, out of play. Moving the count to 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, he got a
2-1 pitch, misses the zone, off speed from Reed Foley, so it's now 3-1 on Tebow.
He got off to a slow start in Binghamton too last year, so
3-1 pitch, it's the inside corner for strike 2.
and there's hope that as the weather gets hotter, so will Tebow. I think that's something that's happened in the past and could very well happen again. Another walk.
3-2, high and away for ball 4. One consistent thing with Tim Tebow that some of the coaches talk about is that he really has good pitch recognition. He understands the strike zone. You'll notice every time if he swings and misses at a pitch, he will ask the umpire, was that a strike or not? So a 1-out base runner for Syracuse. Here's Rajay Davis. Davis is 1 for 2 today with a double and a fly out to right. Sean Reed Foley comes set on the mound. Here's the pitch. It misses high for ball 1. Davis will actually make an appearance later today at the Press Room Pub, 5 to 7 o'clock. So a chance to meet a Major League Baseball player who's been doing it for a while. Played in the World Series a couple years back with the Cleveland Indians. 1-0 high for ball 2. So make sure you go out to the Press Room Pub. I've been there a couple of times. It's really good. It's good. It's a good spot. Right around the corner from Dinosaur Barbecue. 2-0 outside for ball 3. So now Sean Reed Foley is having some trouble finding the strike zone here in the 5th inning.
He's been working that outside corner very well through the first 4 innings. Seems he's a little off. Maybe the 5th inning's a little tougher for both these pitchers.
3-0 high and in ball 4. Davis drops the bat. And he will jog on down to first. Back-to-back walks with 1 out here in the 5th. And now here's Carlos Gomez. And here is the situations where this team, again, while they struggle in terms of batting average for the season, they have come up with the hits when they've needed to come back. 12 times this season, Syracuse has trailed and has come back to at least tie the game. They haven't won all of those games, but to be down and come back to tie or take a lead 12 times, I mean, it goes to show what type of team you have here with the Mets.
And it's a good veteran team, and that's a sign of a veteran team right there, where if things don't get out of hand, and they know that they're always one swing away from getting back in this ball game. If Carlos can hit his 2nd home run of the season, we've got a 1-run ball game.
First pitch to Carlos Gomez misses low for ball 1.
Well, it's a good thing the kids weren't here from the education that I said 3 and 1 equals 4, so it'll be a tie ball game right there.
They would have had you.
1-0 is on the outside corner for strike 1. There's this Metaverse app that was created by John Delgetti. The app wasn't created by him, but there was a a game within that app that he created specifically for Education Day last year and this year. Here's the 1-1. Gomez swings and misses for strike 2. And within that app, there are different questions for different subjects. Math is one of them. It's the first question, and it's the question is, home to first is 90 feet, first to second is 90 feet, second to third is 90 feet, and third to home is 90 feet. So if you go around all the bases, 1, 2, misses outside for ball 2, how far did you go? And the answer is
90 times 4.
360.
There you go.
We had that.
We had that. That's why I married a math teacher.
We played.
Herm was calculating it on the window with his marker. Gomez swings and lines this pitch into left field. That's a hit. Tebow up to third, Davis to second. Gomez on at first, and the bases are loaded. That ball came off the bat at 104 miles an hour. So excellently placed on the scoreboard out in left field along with the pitch speed. So Gomez really ripped that into left, and now the bases are loaded for Adani Echeverria, which draws a mound visit from Buffalo's pitching coach, Doug Mathis.
Well, Mathis is not going to be making the change. That's usually done by the manager, so he's going to get a chance to stay in there and win or leave this game losing, because with 1 out, bases jammed, a grand slam will make it 5-4. Yes, I did pull out my calculator. I'm doing okay now.
That's the third mound visit used by Buffalo today. You're allowed 5 non-pitching change mound visits throughout the 9 innings in the game. Adani Echeverria is not a power hitter. He has good pop in his bat. He has 5 doubles, but no home runs. He's hitting .323 for this season. First pitch to Echeverria, a check swing he went around. According to home plate umpire Rich Grassa, counts 0-1. Echeverria flat out to right, grounded out to short. So he's 0 for 2 today. Came in hitting .333, so he's just due for a hit, right? 1 for 3. 0-1. Swing at a fly ball, hit down the right field line. Jordan Patterson ranges over to make the catch. Tebow is tagging from third base. The throw home is not in time. Tebow ends up scoring standing up. The swipe tag from Cantwell did not connect with Tebow, so it's a sacrifice fly for Adani Echeverria. And Syracuse has trimmed the Buffalo lead to 2. It's now 4-2. And Syracuse has runners on the corners. Rajay Davis with excellent speed tagged from second and moved to third. And Carlos Gomez held at first on the play. Here's Travis Tyrone, the power hitter for Syracuse, leading the league with 7 home runs this season. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. The pitch is outside for ball 1.
I think Tebow used that football instinct. He wasn't going down at the plate. He was going to score standing up.
It's a good thing he realized he was playing baseball, not football. Otherwise, he would have knocked the catcher into the stands, I think.
1-0 on Travis Tyrone. Here comes the pitch. High and in, ball 2. Tyrone had an RBI double in the first inning that put Syracuse on the board. It was a ball he hit off the wall on the fly. Pretty much hit directly on the 400-foot sign, which is less than a foot away from the top of that blue padded fence in center. 2-0. Swinging a chopper foul, third base side. Rolling towards the Syracuse bullpen where a couple of relievers mill around. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Syracuse trails Buffalo 4-2. 2-1 on Tyrone. A throw goes to first, and Gomez is back safely with a head-first slide.
If Foley tries to pitch him careful, you got Nito on deck, who has been swinging a good bat, batting .333 coming into tonight's game. Pick your medicine here is what it is.
And this is a lineup up and down where there's no one that you want to be facing. 2-1 on Tyrone. Runners on the corners, the pitch. Swing and a tip foul for strike 2. Off speed, low in the zone. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes, and Travis Tyrone with 2 outs And we're in the bottom of the 5th inning. This next pitch will be the 90th thrown today by Sean Reed Foley.
And if you've been watching the way Foley's pitching, this was be an off-speed pitch on the outside part of the plate.
Out of the zone, right? Don't even give him
Yeah.
a chance. 2-2. Low, ball 3. He went off speed but came inside. So the count is now full at 3-2. The positive for this is Gomez will be off on the pitch, so maybe something in the gap can score a quick Gomez from first. 3-2. Low and outside, ball 4. He went with that pitch. But Tyrone with a good eye, and the bases are once again loaded.
Well, he's got a tough situation here with Nito, who started the season with the Mets when camp broke.
Nito played 2 games with New York, then was optioned down once Travis d'Arnaud came off the New York Mets injured list. Nito hitting .313 now after going 0 for 2 today. First pitch, low and outside for ball 1. Nito has struck out swinging both times, and it's on those pitches low and away against right-handed batters. 8 right-handed batters in Syracuse's lineup today. Tebow's the only left-handed batter, and he's walked twice. This inning, Sean Reed Foley has walked 3 batters. Carlos Gomez singled, so 4 different base runners for the Mets. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 1-0 count on Tomas Nito. Pitch is outside, ball 2.
That didn't miss by much. Cantwell tried to sell it to the umpire, pulled it back in.
Here comes the 2-0. Shack swinging a pitch that missed high, and yes, Nito did go around, according to Adam Beck, the crew chief and first base umpire today.
Big call there. 2-1 is a lot different than 3-0 with the bases jammed. Pitcher starts to get a little tighter with a 3-0 count, so that was a big break for him right there.
2-1 pitch, breaking ball grounded left side and through into left field for a hit. Davis scores, Gomez around third, the throw home is cut off. Gomez scores and Syracuse has tied the game. 2-run double, Tomas Nito, and Syracuse responds to a 4-run top of the 5th from Buffalo with a 3-run bottom of the 5th. Once again coming from behind to tie the game at 4.
Well, you've talked about how this team is capable of coming back, and they just sure lived up to that billing right there.
All right, Steve, you've probably never been in this situation, but what did he just say to him, or did he just hold out his hand for the ball?
I don't think things were said usually like that, something like that. Managers don't usually ream somebody out right there on the mound. If he's got an issue with him, he usually saves it for after the game and in his office.
No, when the pitching coach comes out, though, what is he, when he's trying to calm you down, what's he doing to change the energy or change your focus when he comes out?
Well, a lot of times, most coaches that I've had were positive. You got this. Just bear down a little bit. You're not missing by much. Caught a couple of bad breaks. I had an incident where one time Ralph Howell came out to the mound, and he asked me how I felt, and I says, I feel pretty good. Bruce Kim was my catcher, and he turned to Houck. He says, he ain't got crap today. And he didn't quite put it that nicely. So take him out. He talked him into taking me out. He didn't leave it up to me. And a catcher of all players knows what's going on because
I've eavesdropped on a lot of those conversations, and generally it's constructive.
usually it is. A lot of coaches, and I think I've coached enough to know, there's certain players you can kind of talk hard to, and there's other players, if you do that, you're going to make them fold. So, you know, I think you got to know your players. You got to bear down. You know what you got. You got yourself in this situation. Let's get yourself out of it. You know, but like you said, it's mainly positive stuff.
Well, I think we brought this up yesterday, the day before her, Paul Menhart, when he was the pitching coach here in Syracuse. He would say sometimes he would go out and talk nothing about baseball. I mean, he would just try and lighten a guy up just to lose. His goal was to get a smile out of the pitch. Like a guy would be in a bases loaded, no out jam, and all of a sudden Paul Menhart would walk out and you see the pitcher start laughing. And you're like, what does he say?
Well, how about that famous scene in Bull Durham where they're talking about what they're going to get as a wedding gift? I mean, that goes along with, try to break up the tension out there.
Dusty Isaacs is the relief pitcher into the game for Buffalo, a 27-year-old right-hander. First and second, 2 outs. Dilson Herrera at the plate, first pitch. He is on the inside corner for strike 1. Isaacs this season for Buffalo has made 5 relief appearances, 9 1/3 innings. He's only allowed 4 hits and no runs. 2 walks to 11 strikeouts for Isaacs. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. A half swing from Herrera on a pitch that dove low in the zone. And the count is quickly 0-2.
Well, Herrera looked, the way he swung at that, he was looking dead red fastball on that. Got fooled with an off-speed pitch.
Here comes the 0-2. Check swing and a pitch that misses low, moving the count to 1-2. We're tied at 4 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Syracuse scored a run in the first, and Buffalo scored 4 in the top of the 5th. Syracuse has responded with 3 runs now in the bottom of the frame. Runners on first and second, 2 outs, 1-2 on Herrera. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball 2, and it seems like that's just the scouting report today for Buffalo, is to pitch outside, go off-speed pitches that are tailing away from right-handed batters.
Good observation right there. They've been working that outside corner with a lot of off-speed stuff.
Isaacs works from the stretch, holds the ball in his bare right hand behind his back, twirling it in his fingers. He's set at the belt, the 2-2. Inside corner, strike 3. Herrera strikes out, and the inning is over. But Syracuse scores 3 runs in the frame on 2 hits. Sacrifice fly from Adani Echeverria with the bases loaded, then a 2-run single from Tomas Nido. We're tied at 4 as we move to the 6th inning next on the score 12-60. Top of the 6th inning in Syracuse. The Mets and the Bisons are tied at 4. Buffalo scored 4 runs in the top of the 5th. Syracuse responded with 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th to tie the game. Paul Sewald on the mound for Syracuse faces Andrew Guillat to lead off the 6th for Buffalo. Righty-on-righty matchup. Sewald comes set from the stretch. The first pitch. A fastball is belt high in the inside corner for strike 1. With Herm Card and Steve Grilly, I'm Michael Tricarico. Thanks so much for listening to Syracuse Mets baseball on this Wednesday morning, turned afternoon. 0-1 is clipped foul first base side. Off the end of the bat. Counts 0-2. Andrew Guillat down in the count, 0-2. He's grounded out into fielder's choices twice today, both to shorts. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Check swing at a pitch that misses low, and yes, he went around according to Adam Beck, the first base umpire. First strikeout for Paul Sewald, beginning his first inning of work. Sewald came in with 2 outs and runners on first, a runner on first last inning, and got Patrick Cantwell to ground into a fielder's choice at short. So with 1 away, here's Roman Fields. 1 for 2 today with a strikeout looking, then a single. He led off the 5th inning. First pitch, Fields shows bumped and pulls back, and a pitch that misses inside for ball 1. Buffalo has 4 runs on 10 hits, 5 of them coming last inning. Here's the 1-0. Outside, ball 2. Syracuse 4 runs on 4 hits. The Mets aided by 3 walks in the bottom of the 5th inning, though. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Swinging a fly ball, hit in the air towards right center field. Liriano has a track on the ball, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Well, and here's been the thing with this pitching staff. And Zach Lee didn't have a bad start by any means. The numbers won't show it at the end. He gave up 10 hits and 4 runs, but it was just one bad inning. And, you know, unfortunately, the numbers don't always tell the full story. And yes, I'm sure Zach will tell you he wishes that he finished better, but, you know, he didn't have a bad outing. And he kept it in a case, first pitch to Anthony Alford, misses in for ball 1, where it's not like things completely got out of hand. It could have been worse than just the 4 runs, right? And he really just made the one mistake to Biggio, a 3-run home run.
The other situation was escapable. You're right. Once you're in that situation, you get out of the situation. Unfortunately, the home run made that impossible.
1-0 swung on and missed for strike 1. And here's been the thing with Syracuse. You know, maybe one guy has one bad inning, but then you got this entire bullpen that's just been excellent. And maybe it's a starting pitcher that does well and a reliever is struggling. It's not multiple pitchers struggling. 1-1 on the inside corner against the right-handed batter for strike 2. Like, very rarely does this pitching staff have an off day where just anyone who comes in just, you know, struggles.
I think that's the benefit of having a good bullpen is you can make those moves. You can stop situations before they get out of control.
1-2 foul to the backstop, so the count holds it a ball and 2 strikes.
Which is one of the abilities a manager has, and it's also a talent that a manager has to recognize the moment to make the change. And then if it doesn't work, then people criticize him. But how often does someone say he made great moves?
Right, yeah. Not too often. A ball and 2 strikes on Alford. Here's the pitch. It misses away for ball 2.
It's like how often do people say umpires made great calls?
Hey, Adam Beck made a great call on a Danny Espinosa slide into home plate 2 days ago, where Buffalo was very mad with the call, but it was the right call. 2-2 is clipped foul first base side. I got a piece of Tomas Nito, who hops a couple of times and now crouches behind the home plate area.
So I was wrong. People do say that. They do say about that umpires make good calls.
Yeah. Credit where credit is due. Grant Hufford, the Syracuse trainer, is out chatting with Nito real quick, and Nito, you know, gives them the thumbs up. Just a little bit of a stinger. People don't realize how tough catchers have to be. Concussions, we talk about concussions throughout sports. Catchers, there's been some studies in terms of baseball. I mean, now where else would a guy get a concussion? But catchers get concussions are becoming a real problem with catchers. Foul balls off the mask. And it happens more often than you think.
Well,
And at the
Herm, have you seen the new? There's a new mask.
2-2 is hitting the air out towards right center field. Liriano in right center. He makes the catch. Let's get to this after this half-inning break. That'll work?
It'll work.
All right, we'll go to the bottom of the 6th, tied at 4. Bisons and Mets come back for some more talk with Steve Gurley and Herm Card and myself on the score, 1260. Reimer Liriano leads off the bottom of the 6th for Syracuse. Dusty Isaacs is on the mound for the Bisons. He faced one batter in the 5th, striking out Dilson Herrera to end the inning. Tied at 4, bottom of the 6th, first pitch to Liriano, misses in for ball 1. With Herm Card and Steve Gurley, I'm Michael Tricarico. And what a game we've had. 4 runs on 10 hits for Buffalo. Just 4 hits for Syracuse, but 4 runs to show for it.
Oh, them base on balls. That's what caused that 4-run inning, I think, or at least helped it.
Yeah, 2 hits last inning, but 3 walks. It's now 1-1 on Liriano. Last pitch came in for a strike. One ball and 1 strike on Liriano. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 2. And sometimes pitchers can scatter hits, right? You give up a lot of hits, but it's maybe 1 an inning, and you gave up 2 hits, 1 inning, you know, and you're sometimes the bases get loaded on a couple of hits, but you're able to work out of that, you know, jam. So you give up 8 or 9 hits, but you only allow maybe 1 run. 1-2. Liriano takes inside for ball 2. Syracuse did not get a hit in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th innings. They have 2 hits in the 1st, 2 hits in the 5th, and they've scored runs in both of those frames.
Very efficient with their base hits. Timely.
It's gotten better as the year has gone on. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Liriano out. And there's one away here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's interesting because Syracuse, during the opening homestand this year, went 5-2.
Number
And
4.
I was talking with Tony DeFrancesco, the Syracuse manager, and he said, "Yeah, Michael, we're not playing very good right now." I said, "Tony, you're 5-2." He goes, "Yeah, we're not there yet. The hitting's just not." I mean, he was right. Syracuse went 2-5 on the road. And for as many close games as Syracuse won at home, they lost just as many close ones on the road. First pitch to David Thompson. This is inside for ball 1. In fact, Syracuse's 12 wins this season have come by a total of 26 runs combined. 1-0, swing and a miss for strike 1. That means you're winning by just more than 2 runs per game. That's not a lot.
That is an unbelievable statistic.
11 wins by 3 runs or less. 1-1. Thompson takes on the inside corner for strike 2, which again goes to show how good the pitching has been and also how timely the hits have come for Syracuse. A ball and 2 strikes on David Thompson with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Pitch misses outside for ball 2. Steve, you were going to mention something about masks to Herm before last inning. We were cut off by the end of the 3rd out.
Well, I'm sure Herm, umpiring behind home plate, you've taken your fair share of balls directly off the mask. And recently, a catcher designed, John Buck, I think his name is.
Pitch here grounded towards 3rd, fielded by Andy Burns. A slide step to 1st and a throw low, and it gets by Kevin Biggio. So David Thompson reaches base. It was not in the dirt, I don't think.
I think
But a bad throw by Burns. I mean, it just wasn't a good throw. He took his time at first and then ended up rushing the throw because of how Thompson was racing down the line. It was just a low throw, tough for Biggio to end up making that grab. It's going to be an error.
Getting back to the mask, he came up with like a spring that separates from where the front part of the mask is to where it's attached. So there's some absorption going on there when the impact of the ball hitting the mask. And I think it's going to become more and more popular with guys in the big leagues.
It sounds.
First pitch to Tim Tebow, fouled 3rd base side. The count is 0-1.
Sounds like it would be effective. I know when I first started out, the masks were just steel, heavy steel, and did very little except keep the ball from hitting you in the nose. But years later, my last mask was Kevlar, and it weighed nothing.
Pitch to Tebow, fouled away. 3rd base side once again, counts 0-2.
But it lessened the impact because it was so light. It might fly off, but when the ball hit it, but there was no impact.
So it helped. On a humorous side, I could see it causing harm, though. When you take it off and you throw it away, if it bounces, it might bounce up and hit you because it's got springs on it.
0-2, check swing that misses down low, moving the count to 1-2.
We try not to throw them. Catchers throw them away. We hold on to it because we don't want to hit the catcher with it.
There was a story on ESPN.com in 2016 about this spring-loaded mask, or 2018 rather. So it was last April, about this spring-loaded mask that is becoming more popular. 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Tebow down on strikes, and there's 2 away. So it's a spring-cushioned shock absorption system that reduces the force of impact. And it was created, this specific mask, it's called the Defender Mask, is the brainchild of Force 3. That's the company that has it. Founder and president Jason Klein, who is a 40-year-old former minor league umpire. So that's this specific mask. There may be others out there. First pitch to Rajay Davis misses outside, and the count is 1-0.
As I said to you, Mike, the other day, you know just everything. It's amazing the facts that he's got in hand. Steve, isn't that remarkable?
It is. It is.
Throw goes over to first, and Thompson's back safely with a head-first slide.
We want to know something. We have to get out the encyclopedia, look back, flip pages.
Google.
Mike just has it.
Look, it's the new era of information filing. 1-0, swing and a miss for strike 1. What's an encyclopedia?
Right. Right.
You said dictionary the other day. What is that?
It's online. Just go look it up online.
And ask a young
I'm gonna
person.
I'm gonna Google it.
Google it.
Ask him what an Pedia Britannica is.
Pitch is inside. Thompson was off on the pitch, and he's safe at second as his pitch was inside. It almost hit Davis, who's I don't know how he avoided getting hit by that pitch.
I thought it hit him, yeah.
I don't know how it missed him. Thompson gets a stolen base, so it works out. Syracuse has a runner in scoring position with a 2-1 count on Rajay Davis. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Syracuse and Buffalo tied at 4. Go-ahead runs in scoring position at second. Here's the 2-1 to Davis. He takes it on the inside corner for strike 2.
Davis only 1 RBI on the year. He's due.
He's been more at the top of the order, hasn't had guys on base ahead of him. Here's a chance here, 2-2. Swing and a miss, good pitch. Off speed, diving low and away from the right-hand hitting Davis. And Isaacs picks up his 4th strikeout. All 4 outs recorded by Isaacs are via the strikeout. Go to the 7th inning, still tied at 4 on the score, 12-60. We're tied at 4 as we begin the top of the 7th inning at NBT Bank Stadium. Syracuse took a 1-0 lead after the first inning. Buffalo scored 4 runs in the top of the 5th to storm ahead 4-1. But Syracuse responded with a 3-run bottom of the 5th to tie the game at 4. New pitcher into the game for Syracuse. Tim Peterson comes in for Paul Sewald, second reliever used by Tony DeFrancesco today. Peterson faces Lourdes Gurriel Jr. here in the 7th. First pitch is inside, and the count is 1-0. Paul Sewald pitched an inning and a third of perfect baseball. 4 up and 4 down for the 28-year-old. 1-0 on the inside corner to Gurriel, a right-handed batter, moving the count to a ball and a strike.
Herm's getting a little cold over here, Mike.
I'm going to get you a heater, Herm. 1-1 lifted in the air down the right field line. Foul ground. First baseman Travis Tyrone is over, and he makes the catch. And foul ground in the Buffalo bullpen. Tyrone makes a good defensive play, and there's one away. Herm, I see you're getting a little cuddly with that bark in the park towel. That was a giveaway. It was supposed to be for dogs, you know.
Bark in the park. We're going to have another one of those.
There's 3 of them total. Yeah, we had 1 already. There's 2 more coming up. Visit SyracuseMets.com for the details and how you can participate. First pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is inside. Counts 1-0.
It's a great photo op day. Dog in the park. It's really fun. It's a very enjoyable, and a lot of the people who come in to set up their booths are all animal rescue, dog rescue people, veterinarian organizations.
1-0 to Guerrero is inside. And the count's now 2-0 on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 1 for 3 today. Ground out, fly out, and single. Swing and a drive. In the air to right field. Liriano back, looks up, goodbye home run. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with his 3rd home run of this season with Buffalo. This puts the Bisons back in front 5-4.
Well, tomorrow might be your last chance to take a look at this fine young guy. Guerrero has all the tools to be a major league star. He's here just biding his time. Next time Buffalo comes to town, I don't think you're going to be seeing the likes of Guerrero here.
And that was an opposite field home run.
Oh,
Power the other way on a line over the 375 sign in right center.
And as the Latin players call that one, it was a linea, a line drive.
The Spanish lesson brought to you by Steve Grilly. First pitch to Kevin Biggio is swung on and missed strike 1.
Yes, you don't have to go to Babel. You just listen to us.
Listen to us babble.
Listen to us babble. It's a different type of babbling going on at the booth here.
0-1 pitch is down low for ball one. Free Spanish lessons every top of the 7th inning. Syracuse Mets broadcast.
If I had been able to speak Spanish, I would have known why I ejected that player.
Now you're going back to that, yeah.
1-1 on Biggio. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Biggio has 3 hits today, 2 singles, then a 3-run home run he hit in the 5th. At the time, gave Buffalo a 4-1 lead. It's now 5-4 Bisons in front after the Guerrero solo shot. Leading off this inning. Or with 1 out rather in this inning. Gurriel popped out in foul ground for the first out. 11 hits for the Bisons in this afternoon's game. Here's the 1-2 in the dirt for ball 2.
It was nice having some kids up in the booth here from your alma mater.
Yeah, Roxborough Road Middle School.
Did-
Out in Mattydale.
Did I hear one of the kids say that he never thought about being a broadcaster, but now that
He's thinking about it
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I thought I heard him say that to you.
2-2 called strike 3 on the inside corner. Biggio down on strikes and there's 2 away. That's when
First baseman, number 9.
so 7th grade, that was the second year that Roxborough had built a television studio. So they did the morning announcements throughout the school. And I was part of that. And at the time, that was the first time I really considered doing any broadcasting. And at the time, it was to be a Sports Center anchor. Once I did that, I watched Sports Center. It's pretty fun. I like sports. First pitch to Andy Burns, grounded foul, third base side. And then as I kind of went through the years, still did the announcements from middle school all the way up through high school. But I did a job shadow with Matt Park. It was I'm part of a mentor program in 9th grade, and that sort of opened the world to play-by-play. 0-1 on Burns from Peterson. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch from Peterson counts 0-2. What's interesting, though, is that even though I really hadn't thought about broadcasting as a job until I did that morning announcement thing in 7th grade, I had recorded myself doing play-by-play growing up, like from when I was 3, 4, 5 years old. Here's the 0-2 to Burns. Check swing and a pitch that's hit fair right in front of home plate, picked up by Tomas Nido. Throw to first in time, and that's the final out. So I have these cassette tapes of me doing play-by-play of me playing video games. So play-by-play of the game playing out. There's Syracuse played Pittsburgh in 2003. I have a VHS tape, and I have myself on cassette. I was watching the VHS tape and doing the play-by-play with my middle brother Joseph. So
wow, that's great.
It's been something I've done for a while. And, Roxborough Road Middle School helping me get that start.
Good story.
We go to the bottom of the 7th, 5-4. Buffalo leads over Syracuse on the score, 12-16. Carlos Gomez leads off the bottom of the 7th. First pitch from Dusty Isaacs is inside, ball 1. 5-4, Buffalo leads over Syracuse as we begin the bottom of the 7th inning at NBT Bank Stadium on a Wednesday morning turned afternoon in Syracuse. 1-0 inside, ball 2 on Gomez. He's 1 for 3 today, a strikeout, a flyout, and then a single in his most recent at-bat back in the 5th inning. Part of a 3-run inning for Syracuse. The Mets with 4 runs on just 4 hits today. Buffalo, on the other hand, 5 runs on 11 hits. Here comes the 2-0. Swing and a drive, foul, way out in front of that 81-mile-an-hour pitch from Isaacs. Gomez hit it a long way, but in the wrong direction, and the count's 2-1. Isaacs comes set from the stretch. The 2-1 is on the inside corner, 81 miles again. So it's now 2-2 on Carlos Gomez.
It's interesting, Mike. We were talking about how you prepared yourself for this career and the opportunities that education has today.
2-2, grounded to third, fielded by Andy Burns. Throw to first is high, and it bounces off of the padding in front of the stands. So another throwing error by Burns puts Gomez at first base to lead off the bottom of the 7th.
He bobbled that ball just momentarily, and I think that got into his head, and he rushed his throw, and it was well over the head of Biggio. And we have a leadoff man aboard here in the bottom of the 7th.
Gomez representing the tying run for Syracuse. Here's Adani Echeverria, 0 for 2 today, but he does have a sacrifice fly that brought home a run in the 5th. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 1.
I think the fact that you had an opportunity through in your middle school years to become involved with media is exceptional. I teach at Newhouse. You graduated from Newhouse, and
Here comes the 1-0. Runner is off from first. Pitch is swung on and missed. The throw to second is in time. Got him. Gomez caught stealing. 2-4 as Gurriel applied the tag. Gomez tried to avoid the tag, was not able to, so there's 1 away.
I'm always amazed at the experience that the students already have that show up in my classroom, mostly as graduate students, but they've been involved professionally for years in the media, and it's really becoming an exceptional part of education.
Well, and I think sometimes there's a lot of fields where you go to college. 1-1 to Echeverria is outside for ball 2. You go and you think, broadcasting example, and there's other fields, I'm sure, whether it's music or whatnot. You go right to a school and you think, man, I have all this experience and I'm ahead of the curve, and then you meet all of these other people that have just as much, if not more, experience than you do. 2-1, swung on and missed for strike 2.
Well, and I'm the professor, and I have students who are telling me things that I'm sort of standing there saying to myself,
Well, but
how about that?
Right, and but even in sports, right? Baseball, right? You got guys who in high school were the best players on their team, best players in their area, state. Here's the 2-2 to Echeverria, swung on and popped up in the infield right in front of home plate. Catcher Patrick Cantwell reaches back and makes the catch while falling to the ground for the out, and there's 2 away. But right, all these guys, a lot of these guys, whether it was in high school or college, were some of the best players in the country, best players at least in the area, the state, all that. Then you come to the major leagues, and for some people it can be humbling.
Oh, sure.
Because
sure.
there's plenty of guys, and you realize in just about every field that there's always someone better. There's always someone working, right? That's kind of the motivational tool that you tell young players growing up. There's always, if you're sitting on your couch watching TV, there's always someone out there outworking you.
Sure. And that's that. As Steve said, he had the goal. He would look at his ERA and see how it could be better. You need targets.
Yeah, you do need to set.
First 2 pitches to Travis Tyrone, both strikes, 1 on the outside corner, 1 on the inside corner. It's 0-2 on the right-handed batter.
Gives you a goal. I've heard a lot of sports psychologists too say, where you brush your teeth, put up your goals on the mirror there so you have something to shoot for.
Well, I think one of the problems we run into sometimes is the idea of entitlement. Because I was the best here, I should be given this other opportunity. My father used to say, if you don't make the first team, get better. And that's really the way you need to look at it.
1-2 to Tyrone, hits off the knob of the bat. Came inside and just caught the knob of Tyrone's bat. So the count holds at 1-2.
That could have been ugly right there because your hands are very close to the knob of the bat. And he could have had a Bichette.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Exactly.
This pitch was an off-speed pitch from Isaacs, but that's still 70 to 80 miles an hour right on the hand. 1-2 on Travis Tyrone, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a ball hit towards the first base side along the line. Will it stay fair? No, it goes foul. It was foul. It came back fair, it looked like, for a moment.
Yeah.
And then ended up going to the right of the first base bag.
Had a lot of spin on it. You didn't know which direction it was going to head in.
Now, my question to the first baseman would be, when the ball was on the line, why not pick it up and get the out instead of letting it roll foul again?
Unless our angle maybe, but our angle is a little. Maybe he could see clearly it was not on the line.
I'm an umpire. I can see.
Okay. 1-2 to Tyrone, swing and a miss for strike 3. Yeah, Herm, I'm sure that response was well received by all of the managers you interacted with. 1, 2, 3 goes Syracuse. Here in the 7th, we go to the 8th inning next. 5-4, Buffalo over Syracuse, and the score 12-60. Start of the 8th inning at NBT Bank Stadium. The Syracuse Mets trail the Buffalo Bisons 5-4. 6, 7, 8 due up in the Buffalo order with Tim Peterson on the mound, beginning his 2nd inning of relief work for Syracuse on a chilly Wednesday afternoon, 45 degrees, no sun in sight, but no rain despite some ominous clouds overhead throughout the day. Jordan Patterson leads off, batting from the left-hand side. 27-year-old's 1 for 3 today. Pop-out strikeout, then a single in his most recent at-bat back in the 5th. Peterson works from the stretch, first pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 1. So it's Peterson versus Patterson, which could get a little confusing. Patterson for the season hitting 174. This is the 13th game he's played in. 0-1, grounded sharply towards second, fielded by Dilson Herrera. Throw to first in time, and there's one away. Right now, the difference in this game is a Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s solo home run last inning. Game was tied at 4 when Guerrero hit that opposite field shot over the right center field wall. So Syracuse has already had to come back from 3 runs down and now has to overcome just a 1-run deficit over the game's final 2 innings. Patrick Cantwell shows bunt. He takes a pitch high and away, ball 1. Cantwell has 2 hits today. Singled twice, then grounded into a fielder's choice in the 5th. 1-0. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike 1. Big swing from Cantwell, who did not connect, moving the count to a ball and a strike.
Actually swung so hard he lost his footing.
Momentum carried him across home plate into the left-handed batter's box. Here comes the 1-1. Swinging a grounder foul third base side. Off the third base railing of the Syracuse dugout. One ball and 2 strikes on Cantwell. 1 out, top of the 8th. 5-4, Buffalo leads over Syracuse. Here comes the pitch. Swinging a pop-up. Shallow right field. Tyrone out from first. Davis in from right, and the ball hits off Tyrone's mitt in the bullpen. That was a tough play to make. And Reimer Liriano is coming up hopping. He's the right fielder. I don't know if he got caught in between where the grass meets the warning track or that mound in the bullpen is down the right field line. Liriano came up limping a little bit out in right field.
I think he hit the edge of the mound,
I
running
think
across it.
That's a tough thing. You don't see that you're coming across it. You're just running. And all of a sudden, the ground is like 2 inches higher than what you're thinking. That's why I think he came up hobbling.
Yeah, Liriano walking around still in a slight bit of pain out in right field. It's 1-2 on Cantwell. Tyrone almost made a spectacular catch on that play. Just tipped off of his glove. Here's the 1-2. Swinging a chopper towards third. Fielded by Thompson on his back foot. Throw to first is not picked. It bounced once in the dirt, and Thompson couldn't end up coming away with the pick. It goes down as a throwing error from Thompson. The ball took 1 hop, and then Thompson was caught in between. He ended up backpedaling a few steps to take the second hop high and was on his back foot as he made the throw to first, not getting enough energy on the ball for an accurate throw, so it's an error.
Thompson had it in his glove, but bounced out.
Here's Andrew Guillot's first pitch is lifted in the air towards shallow right. Liriano in from right, makes the call by putting up his bare right hand, and then makes a one-handed catch with his glove left, and there's 2 away.
Center fielder, number 4, Roman Fields.
Here's Roman Fields. 1 for 3 today, the 28-year-old batting from the left-hand side, hitting .345 for the season. 19 hits and 55 at-bats, including 4 doubles and a triple. First pitch from Peterson, misses down low, ball 1.
Buffalo's in town for one more game tomorrow afternoon. Game time 1:05.
Our pregame coverage starts at 12:50 for tomorrow's game. That'll close out another week-long homestand 1-0, hit foul, third base side out of play for strike one.
Once again, what might be your last chance to see a future star in the big leagues in Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
1-1. Field swings and rips it off of Peterson's mitt. He picks the ball up. No throw to first. Ball was scorched back up the middle. It hit Peterson's mitt. He almost made the catch and instead rolled towards second base. Peterson picked the ball up but did not make the throw to first. So it's an infield single for Roman Fields, and Buffalo's back to the top of the order with Anthony Alford. So the Bisons now looking to extend and add some cushion to that one-run advantage.
Tomorrow's weather, I just looked it up for a 105 game.
Should be good, right?
Very good. It's going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
in the high 60s.
Oh, yes.
With sun.
Ooh,
With sun.
that's a novel concept.
Here comes our weatherman, Herm Card.
Using a yellow marker to draw
His yellow marker works better than
smiley face sun on the window in front of Steve. Anthony Alford, the leadoff batter for the Bisons, comes to the plate with runners on first and second and 2 outs in the inning. Peterson from the stretch. First pitch, swing and a miss. Strike one.
Well, with 2 outs and runners aboard, important situation right here to keep it at this 1-run deficit for the Mets here.
Alford has 8 RBIs this season. He's 0 for 3 today, plus a sacrifice bunt. Alford batting from the right-hand side. Here's the 0-1. On the outside corner, strike two. 5-4, Buffalo leads Syracuse. We're in the top of the 8th inning. Runners on first and second for the Bisons. 2 outs and a 0-2 count on Alford.
Peterson's delivery reminds me of Jim Bouton, straight over the top, and surprised his hat stays on. People are probably saying, who's Jim Bouton?
Here comes the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. And Peterson ends the top of the 8th with the strikeout. A scoreless 8th. Syracuse's deficit remains just 1. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning next on the score, 12-16.
Game starting at 4 o'clock in the big leagues. Parent club New York Mets off today.
Sure, many of people up top are paying attention to what the team down here is doing. 0-1 on Liriano after the first pitch comes in to the inside corner. Liriano batting from the right-hand side, walked and then struck out twice. Dilson Herrera at first base for Syracuse, and a 5-4 Bisons advantage. Throw goes over to first, Herrera back safely.
I take that back. The Mets are in action tonight against the Phillies. They're off tomorrow.
They're off tomorrow. That's right. You got to finish that series against the Phillies. That's a big series.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
right
is.
now it's Phillies-Mets, kind of 1-2. But I'm sure some attention still being played to an afternoon game before they wait until their own evening game. 0-1 inside. Liriano limbos underneath the pitch to avoid being hit. Counts now 1-1.
Buffalo's pitched inside quite a bit. We've seen a couple of our players spun around this afternoon.
Well, for as often as they're pitching away, sometimes you got to set that up by coming inside.
Correct.
1-1 on Reimer Liriano with Dilson Herrera at first base for Syracuse. Copping works from the stretch. The right-hander comes set. Runner is off. The pitch is swung on and missed, and it gets behind Patrick Cantwell. Stolen base for Dilson Herrera. He was off on the pitch. So a runner in scoring position for Syracuse and a 1-2 count on Reimer Liriano.
Nice break right there for the Mets. Puts the tying run in scoring position. He had a great jump. I don't think he would have had a chance of getting him. He took off.
I mean, Herrera extended his lead, and then he got a really good jump. Plus, it was an off-speed pitch low, and everything was working in Herrera's favor there. 1-2 on Liriano. Copping is set, looks at second base. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swinging a fly ball, hit in the air, down the right field line. Off the Hank Sauer Room of Legends down the right field line. Counts 1-2 on Liriano with 1 out. Bottom of the 8th. Syracuse trailing 5-4. And the tying run in scoring position at second base.
Now would be the time to get one up in the air to right field. The wind is really whipped up now.
One-two. High and in once again. This one at 92 miles an hour, moving the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Mike, you did make a good point. That outside corner has been working towards the Buffalo Bisons pitcher's advantage. And in order to set that up, they've been brushing back quite a few high and inside.
2-2 on Liriano. 1 out, bottom of the 8th with a runner at second base. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss, off speed, diving low in the zone for strike 3. And there's now 2 away here in the 8th.
The third baseman, number 4, David Thompson.
Here's David Thompson with 2 outs. Thompson's been a run producer this season, mainly more earlier in the year. He has 8 RBIs. But he's had some timely at-bats. First pitch taken high for ball 1. Some timely hits. His first 3 RBIs came without getting a hit. 2 sacrifice flies and then an RBI ground out. Here with 2 outs, that won't cut it. But Thompson's not a bad option to have up in this situation. Dilson Herrera at second base represents the tying run. The 1-0 is popped foul back into the right. And the count's now 1-1. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Buffalo 5, Syracuse 4. 2 outs, 1-1 count on Thompson with Herrera at second. Here's the pitch. Up high, ball 2.
Thompson's last RBI came against Rochester back on April 17th. He's got an opportunity here to pick up another one, and a very important one would tie the game.
2 balls and a strike on Thompson, who bats from the right-hand side, standing with a squared stance. As Copping comes set the 2-1. Check swing, pitch that misses low, moving the count to 3-1.
That's been a nemesis tonight of the Mets hitters. A lot of guys are swinging at that just off the plate outside corner. And Thompson was able to hold up just in time.
Good hitters count at 3-1. With 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, the pitch is swung on and hit in the air towards center field. Roman fields his back but has space in right center, slowing to make the catch and end the inning. So Syracuse strands a runner in scoring position as we move to the 9th inning. 5-4, Buffalo leads over Syracuse on the score, 12-60. Tim will lead off the bottom of the 9th inning when we get there. For now, it's the top of the 9th inning. Syracuse trails Buffalo 5-4. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. leads off for the Bisons, and a new pitcher's into the game for Syracuse. Eric Hanhold checks in for the Mets in relief of Tim Peterson, who worked 2 innings for Syracuse. First pitch to Gurriel, grounded third base side, fair, past a diving Thompson and towards the left field corner. Tebow fields the ball as Gurriel is into second base with a leadoff stand-up double. So now it's Buffalo who's looking to extend a 1-run lead. The Bisons are looking for their first win in this series. Buffalo is just 4-11 this season, and the hitting has been good enough today. Their pitching has struggled. Buffalo has the worst ERA in the league, but the hitting has done enough so far today for a 1-run advantage, 5-4.
Tough situation, leadoff double, and probably one of the better hitters in this league.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. first pitch inside for ball 1.
Right-handed Derek Law begins to warm up down in the Bisons bullpen.
Looks like it might be Law then to come out in the bottom of the 9th to try and close out the game for Buffalo. 1-0, grounded towards third, fielded by Thompson, looks the runner back, throw to first is in time. Guerrero retired for out number 2. That was a good play by David Thompson.
Tough hop. It was one of those in-between hops.
First baseman.
It's do or die, and he made it.
You either field it or that's going by into left field.
Now here's the situation you're the manager. You got first base open. Do you intentionally walk Biggio, who is having a day here? He's 3 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs, and hope for the double play with a right-hander due up next.
First pitch to Biggio misses down low for ball 1. Syracuse not going to do that here.
Or you unintentionally, intentionally
Yeah,
walk
maybe.
him.
I mean, you certainly don't give him anything good to
No,
hit, or
no.
at least you don't intentionally give him something good to hit. 1-0, pitch on the outside corner. Change of speeds from Hanhold as the count moves to 1-1.
Steve, is that something a manager would somehow convey to you to do with a hitter, to not give him anything good to hit, accept the walk if necessary?
I would think so. I would think so.
1-1 misses low for ball 2.
Whether he has a sign for that or, nobody, it seemed to communicate to him, especially the catcher. But I think as a pitcher, I think you've got to, at this level, AAA, you've got to be aware of the fact that you do have a base open. You're not going to lay one in there.
2-1 outside with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. It's now 3-1.
And I think he's doing what we're talking about right here. He's not going to give Biggio anything good to hit.
Especially now with that wind.
Wind blowing out towards right field. Here comes the 3-1. Just misses outside ball 4, so he does walk him, and there's runners on first and second now for the Bisons with 1 out, and Andy Burns coming to the plate. You also face a right-handed batter now as opposed to a lefty in Biggio.
Number 9, Andy Burns.
And Burns is 0 for 4 today with a strikeout, a pop-out, a fly-out, and a ground-out. Burns grips a 2-tone black barrel tan handle bat. First pitch is grounded third base side foul. Counts 0-1.
We'll take a grounder right over the third base bag, touch the force out at third, throw across to first, but he's not playing very close to third.
Here comes the 0-1. Burns does not check his swing. He goes around on a pitch that missed in the dirt, and it counts 0-2. Well, it's interesting. Some teams, like late in games, if it's tied or you got a lead, you play no doubles defense, where the corner infielders play along the line because you don't want a ball to be hit that way. I don't know if Tony's a huge fan of that because he says balls normally, like percentage-wise, they don't get hit there. You have a better chance if your guy's playing off the line to make a play. 0-2 in the dirt. Good block by Nito, and the count moves to 1-2.
That ball was about 2 feet in front of home plate. That was an excellent block. Burns has hit into 1 double play so far this year.
He's played in 8 games with the Bisons.
26 at-bats prior to today. So he's 30 at-bats if I look at the scoreboard and see he's 0 for 4. My math is
good
getting
math.
better.
The math comes in handy.
1-2 grounded foul right to the tarp.
Of course, so does reading.
You learn something on Education Day. That's the
Absolutely.
point, right? Like that's the
Absolutely.
whole point. Always learning. You got to be doing. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Andy Burns, with runners on first and second and 1 out. Syracuse trailing Buffalo 5-4. Eric Handholt comes set on the mound, looks at second base. Now time is called by Burns, who is getting a bit too impatient at the plate.
Left-hander Jordan Patterson is on deck.
Patterson's 1 for 4 today. Pitch here again in the dirt, blocked by Nito. The count's 2-2.
Well, Burns right here as a batter, his last 2 breaking balls that we've got from Patterson have been in the dirt. Not even close to being home plate. So as a batter, you got to be looking dead red fastball right here, I would think. At least you percentage-wise you should be.
2-2 rides inside on Burns, and the count is now full at 3-2 from Handhold to Burns with runners on first and second. One out, top of the 9th. Here comes the pitch. Fastball hitting the air towards right. Liriano racing back, reaches, and a leap. He makes the catch. Gurriel tags from second, moves up to third. Biggio holds it first. What a play by Liriano over in right field on a ball that he had a beat on the whole way, but just kept carrying on a line.
Well, the strong wind is helping, but that was an outstanding catch by Liriano. He had to leave his feet in order to get full extension to catch that ball. He saved 2 runs right there. Because that gets over his head, it kicks into the corner. I think you could score from first base on that one.
Easily.
Yeah, here's Jordan Patterson, 1 for 4 today. That 1 hit was a single. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Pivotal moment of this game here in the top of the 9th. Pitch grounded foul, first base side towards the camera well along the first base end, and the count is 0-1. I mean, how important is it from a mental standpoint just to hold this at a 1-run game? I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, you only have 3 outs to go for your team here in the bottom of the 9th inning. So 1 run is a lot easier to get than 2. 1 swing at the back could tie it up in the bottom of the 9th.
0-1, swinging a ground ball, hit towards first. It hits off Tyrone in fair territory. He picks the ball up and then touches the bag himself, and that ends the top of the 9th inning. So Eric Handhold does the job, and he keeps the deficit at just 1 for Syracuse. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. That's been a novel concept this homestand. The first time we're going to the bottom of the 9th. Syracuse looks to preserve its 5-game winning streak when we return, trailing by a run on the score, 12-60. Bottom of the 9th inning, final chance for Syracuse, trailing 5-4 against the Buffalo Bisons in the 3rd game of this 4-game series between the AAA New York Mets and the AAA Toronto Blue Jays. Tim Tebow leads off for Syracuse. He faces a new Buffalo pitcher, Derek Law, a 28-year-old right-hander who works from the full windup. Law making his 6th relief appearance this season. First pitch hit to the right side, past the dive of Lourdes Gurriel Jr. into right field for a hit. Tim Tebow on base for the 3rd time today, his first hit. The previous 2 times were with walks. And just like that, Syracuse has the tying run on first. The go-ahead run coming to the plate, and Syracuse puts a pinch runner out there with Gregor Blanco now running for Tim Tebow.
Here's something interesting that just popped into my head, and I don't know what for reason it did. So Tebow's taken out for a pinch runner, but he's really the guy that's on first base. He's responsible.
Right.
So when you're doing statistics, who's running at first base now?
Blanco.
Blanco?
Yeah.
It goes under his stat as a run scored.
As a run scored. First pitch to Rajay Davis, pushed past the pitcher's mound on the right side, fielded by the pitcher. No throw to first, he doesn't flip it. It's a bunt single for Davis, and Syracuse has runners on first and second. Excellently executed by Rajay Davis, pushing it to the right of the pitcher's mound to second base where the pitcher can't field it. It's a long run for the second baseman, and Rajay Davis is safe. Runners on first and second for Syracuse. Are the Mets going to do it again?
Perfect bunt by Rajay Davis right there, just out of the reach of the pitcher. Now, do you bunt again to put the runners in go-ahead run in scoring position? It's going to be interesting to see how Tony D, on his birthday, this would be a nice birthday gift for him.
Absolutely.
To pull this one out.
Well, in these situations, he has bunted, especially with guys like Adani Echeverria and Travis Tyrone due up, the run producers, the consistent hitters for Syracuse. It's Bobby Meacham who is out of the dugout for a mound meeting. He brings the entire infield in, just going over what their strategy is going to be. Both Gregor Blanco and Rajay Davis met with Tony DeFrancesco over at third base, going over what they are going to do. Runners on first and second. An excellent speed for Syracuse. Blanco and Davis, 2 of the fastest runners in this league. Carlos Gomez also has good speed. He's at the plate with some power. 1 for 4 today. Righty on righty matchup. Here's the pitch. Bunt shown and not pulled back in time. Gomez offers on a pitch low and away, and the count's 0-1.
Bad attempt at ball 1 right there. That ball was at least 2 inches, 3 inches outside and in the dirt. So Gomez a little anxious on trying to do his job here that Tony D gave him to do.
Runners on first and second for Syracuse in the bottom of the 9th, trailing by a run. Gomez at the plate. Here's the 0-1. Bunt shown again, then pulled back in a pitch that misses low and away for ball 1.
Steve, so when it's clear he's going to bunt, where do you throw the ball?
If I field it as a pitcher,
Yes. Where do you want him? Where do you want to throw the ball to him to disrupt this?
To the hitter.
To-
Here's the 1-1. Outside for ball 2. He's been going away. Are you trying to throw in? Some guys will try and
I
throw
would
in.
try to,
Yeah.
my personal, I would try to throw in because that's the toughest. You could still bunt it down the first base line. High and in, you got a chance of popping the ball up.
Right. Here's the thing. It looks like third baseman Andy Burns is going to be covering the third base bag. So I wonder if they're pushing it outside because they want him to throw it, to bunt it to the right side. Gomez fouls this pitch up, swinging away at it into the seats, and the count's now 2-2. So instead of bunting, Gomez swung at the 2-1 pitch, and it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes on the right-handed batter.
Be interesting to see if he still puts the bunt on. That's a big decision for Tony here.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Gomez. Runners on first and second, bottom of the 9th. Here comes the pitch. Bunt shown, and it's popped up. It skips off of the grass. Throw to third in time, throw to first not. It was almost caught by Law, and he went immediately to third base. There was nothing Gregor Blanco can do, so it is an out. And there's runners on first and second for Syracuse still, but with 1 out, and now Adani Echeverria at the plate.
This brings up something very interesting with Rajay Davis at second base.
Do you steal third?
Do you steal third? You said he's one of the best ever at
Yes, he
stealing
is.
third base.
It's going to be
Short
tough
of-
to, I mean,
Short of Ricky Henderson, maybe. But yeah,
Adani Echeverria at the plate. He's 0 for 3 with a sacrifice fly. First pitch is inside for ball 1.
Steve, you must have loved that defensive play because that was an excellent. He had no hesitation, got the ball right to third, perfect throw.
that was. And that you get the lead runner in that situation. a double play takes them out of this inning and a win for them.
1-0 is high for ball 2.
Big play, big play.
Good speed for Syracuse on the base pass with Rajay Davis at second base, Carlos Gomez at first. 2-0 on Adani Echeverria with 1 out. Bottom of the 9th, Syracuse trails 5-4. Law set on the mound, the 2-0. Swinging a foul to the backstop.
What I would come back to, if we do not score in this inning, what it comes back to is that first bunt attempt by Gomez right there. It would have made the count 2-0, and if you have the bunt situation on, you're going to have to come in with a strike, and it would have probably been an easier pitch to sacrifice in that situation.
2 balls and a strike here on Echeverria, 1 out. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Off speed, elevated in the zone, and the count's now 2-2 on Adani Echeverria.
And the pressure on a 2-strike bunt is immense, which is the position he put himself in.
Echeverria right there was going for a 3-run home run with that swing.
1 out, bottom of the 9th inning. Syracuse trails 5-4. Runners on first and second. And a wheel around to second base for Law as Davis was dancing off the second base bag.
I think Davis had visions of stealing third on that. He danced quite a bit away, and that's why the pickoff attempt was attempted.
5-4, the Mets trail. We're in the bottom of the 9th. Another wheel around towards second base. No throw, and a slide for Davis into the bag.
It looks like Buffalo's perfectly aware of the fact that Davis is a very, very good base stealer, especially third base.
5-4, Syracuse trails, bottom of the 9th. 1 out, runners on first and second. 2-2 on Echeverria. Here's the pitch. It's popped up foul, first base side, a bit up and in. Echeverria fights it off. So the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on Adani Echeverria. Law touches the rosin bag behind the pitcher's mound before stepping atop the rubber. Runners on first and second, 1 out, bottom of the 9th. Syracuse trails 5-4. Tying runs at second. The winning run is at first. Adani Echeverria is at the plate with Derek Law on the mound for Buffalo. Two balls and 2 strikes. Law is set. The pitch is high and in, ball 3.
Oh, you got some tension flowing right here at NBT Bank. Another good, exciting game on hand.
Three balls and 2 strikes on Echeverria with Syracuse trailing 5-4, but with runners on first and second. 1 out, the pitch. Swing and a miss. The runners are off. Davis steals third and Gomez steals second. So Echeverria strikes out, but Syracuse has the winning run on second base now.
First baseman, number 19, Tyrone.
Here's Travis Tyrone, and now a mound visit used with Patrick Cantwell, the catcher, just speaking with Derek Law on the mound. Travis Tyrone has an RBI double. It came in the first inning. That gave Syracuse a 1-0 lead at the time.
Well, you couldn't write it any better with your top RBI guy up at the plate with the winning run at second base, the tying run at third base.
5-4, Syracuse trails. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. First pitch to Tyrone, misses down low for ball 1. And you almost wonder if this would be a situation that you might walk a guy like this, but Tomas Nido on deck is just as good of a hitter. 1-0. 1-0 pitch inside, ball 2. 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Law.
Good hitters count in a good hitter situation here with the go-ahead run again. at second base. The
Buff-
winning run.
Buffalo 5, Syracuse 4. Bottom of the ninth. Runners on second and third. The 2-0. Tyrone swings and misses. Sitting fastball. It was a slider diving low and away.
Well, you can throw that pitch when you have first base open.
Sure.
And you know that he's sitting dead red fastball, and he throws him an off-speed pitch off the plate. Might see it again.
Here comes the 2-1. Breaking ball lands on the inside corner, and now Syracuse, it's down to its final strike. Two balls and two strikes on Travis Tyrone. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. 5-4, Syracuse trails, but with runners on second and third. Here's the pitch. Swinging a fly ball, hit in the air to right, moving Patterson back. He has a beat on the ball, and he makes the catch. And the ball game is over. Tyrone hit it on a line towards right, but Patterson tracks it down, and Syracuse's second attempt at a comeback falls just short. 5-4, Buffalo beats Syracuse. Post-game coverage starts when we return on the Score 1260.